Wise Link Academy. For today, we're going to be looking at how to construct an involute of a pentagon. Since we said a pentagon is a polygon that has 5 equal sides. So, as you can see the question in front of you, draw a regular pentagon with side 30 mm long and construct its involute. So my first task here is to draw a horizontal line, right? If I take my T-square this way and I draw my horizontal line, let me draw my horizontal line at this point, horizontal line this way, I'll pick a point. Let me call this point my point A. My point A. Now the measurement given there is given to be what? 30 mm. So with the help of my meter rule, I'll measure out 30 from this point here to this point is 30 mm is the same thing as what? 3 cm. I will taking it this way. I'll call this point my point B, right? At my point B, I will take my compass with the help of my compass this way. My first task now, after this is one side of the pentagon, so I need to produce out what? It remains what? 4 sides. Now here's the idea. I'll apply the concept of constructing a pentagon. There are different methods of constructing pentagon. So let's just take one method and let's construct the pentagon. Then after that, we draw the involute. Now to draw a pentagon, simply take your pin of compass here, extend the pencil to this point. As you can see, you draw a circle this way. You can see the circle. Similarly, you come to A and draw another circle, right? So where they meet at this point, and at this point, since here is A, B, call this C, call this D, right? Call this D. Similarly, at point D, this point D, with the same radius, I'll put at point D and draw another circle this way, right? Where the circle meets this point here and this point here, since we said A, B, C, D, we call this E and call this F. Also call this point G. Now before I write my G, I need to connect C and D together. Connecting C and D together, I will have this, right? Where this point intersect this place, I call this G. Now I will connect F with G together. So connecting F with G in this manner, I will have this. Where it called this point, FG, H. I call this point my point H. Similarly, where E passes through G, I'll call it I. Call this point my point I. So simply connect A to H, connect B to I, right? B to I, and lastly, it remains 2 points with the same radius from this point to this point, right? Put at this point I, strike an arc at this point H, right? Cut the arc at this point H, cut the arc. Where the arc cut, where they intersect, I will join it this way. So I have my pentagon. This is my what? My pentagon. Now my next task is to draw what? The involute of this pentagon. How do I go about drawing the involute of this pentagon? I will simply extend this point, this line, that square. Extend this line, extend it downwards. You can see that. Next up, I will take come in. Let me enlarge it so that you can see what I'm doing. At this point, I will extend line A this way. Extend this line. I haven't considered this, right? I will extend this line, this one. Extend this line. right? Next up, having considered that, I will extend this line, right? This one downwards this way, right? Coming. All right. Having draw this line, next task, extend this line. Next up, extend this line. Listen, you said this is A, B, this is C. Let's call this point C, right? Let's call this point C. All right. We have extended this line. Similarly, extend this. Next up, extend this. My next task now is to extend this point this way, downwards this way, right? Next up, I will extend this point, right? I will extend this point up this way. So I can now construct my involute. Now I will play with the help of my pin of a compass at point A. So take your pin to point A and connect it this way. So I can call this my R1. Similarly, you said at A, connect it to B. Next up, at H, extend it to where that arc 1 stops, and what? Draw your arc 2 this way, right? I call this R2. Next up, at C, extend it at R2 and connect it this way. So you can see the process of the connection. Call this R3. Call this R3. Next up, at I, extend it to R3, right, and draw another arc this way, right, this way. I have this. You can see what I'm having, right? I have this. Next up, at B, extend it to R4 and close it down this way. Here is my involute of a pentagon. So we call this R1, R2, R3. This is my R4 and my R5. Here is how to construct an involute of a pentagon. So if you have found this class helpful, do not forget to click on the subscription button and like. Thank you. Welcome to Wise Link Academy.